What's up guys, welcome to another episode, and today we are working on the mighty scumbag Hilux. I'm too excited, so I'm just going to jump straight into the deep end. We're doing the turbos today. It seems to be a pretty simple process. Obviously this one is carbureted, so we have to deal with how we're going to make sure that the carburetor can handle boost. But first things first, we need to get rid of everything that doesn't need to be in the engine bay, and there is quite a lot of stuff. So we're going to get rid of all this stuff, all the LPG stuff, because we've pulled the LPG tank out, all the random charcoal canisters and stuff like that, just so that we have as much room as possible to work with. And of course we'll get rid of the very heavy air conditioning, because we don't need that when we are doing skids on the track. So let's get into it. Alright, so I've gone ahead and removed everything that we don't need, mostly on this side of the engine bay. And this is how I picture the turbo setup coming together, just like that. So the best thing and the easiest thing about the setup is the carby already had a top hat and the air intake came in over here, so we just removed all that, and the turbo is literally just going to go straight into the top hat, into the carburetor, which makes things really easy. So all I have to do is do a J-pipe from the stock manifold to have the turbo sitting where it's currently sitting, an oil return, oil send, which comes off the oil sender switch down here, this little white thing that you can see at the end of my finger. Just unbolt that and I put a T-piece in, run oil up to the turbo, and then just drill into the sump and put a fitting in for the oil return. So really the hardest part of this is just going to be taking the exhaust off because of the old rusty bolts and making the J-pipe, which I don't see being very hard at all. We're going to cut up one of my old E36 turbo manifolds to take the flange off it to use as the T3 flange for this, but this kind of looks like it's going to come together so awesome. Man, it looks so cool in there. Simplest setup you ever did see. No intercooler, no nothing, just 7 psi. Give her a little bit more of a kick up the arse. The Ute is so light in the rear end, it doesn't really need a whole lot of power to have a lot of fun, but yeah, it's going to be cool, so let's get going. Alright, so now we're going to unbolt the exhaust off the exhaust manifold, and this is where we're going to J-pipe off down here, straight up. So we'll take this off and I'm going to suss out exactly how it's going to fit, but hopefully not too many rusty bolts, we can move forward.
Why wait for the moment to pass? I want it to start now.
Yes. Yep. That definitely was a mission. But she's out. Easy. If you're watching this and you're expecting like an engineer to slide style Hilux build where everything's immaculate, that's not the case. This stuff's insane. Mad respect to Nigel. Nigel, you're awesome. But we're doing a super budget random build that we're building in 3 weeks that we're going to take drifting. This is going to work. So chop it off here. I reckon we'll just block it off, cut a hole here and have the 90 running out. It's going to be super budget but super awesome. Alrighty, sweet. So we're a ways through the J-pipe and I'll show you guys kind of the thought process and how it came together. As long as it makes 7 pound and it drifts well, I'm happy. So this bolts up to the exhaust manifold, and we've got this bit of pipe here that I've notched out at the back, and basically how this is going to work is we'll weld this shut here, cut a hole here, and this is going to weld on here, and this will flow right back up, and then we'll have obviously more piping to the T3 flange. I'm actually pretty psyched on it, so let's get this hole cut and let's start doing some welding and see how it comes together. Alright, so the bit that we cut out of here, I flattened it out with a hammer, and that's the bit that we're going to use to block off the end. So I'll just tack that on, chop the edges off, make it nice and round, weld it on. That'll block that off. This nice little piece we've made will go here. Look at that, just like I bought one. That's all welded up and blocked off. Time to weld in the J-pipe, and then it should be done. Then we can chuck it on the car, make sure there's no obstructions and it fits up alright, and then we can go ahead and actually run the piping from that part up to the T3 flange and the turbo will sit there. ladies and gentlemen, our manifold is made. How good is it? Came out exactly as I hoped it would come out, so pretty happy with the progress, but this is the hardest part that we had to do, so crazy. So happy with it. How do you think it's going to work? Probably terribly, but who cares, as long as it works. Alrighty, so we're doing pretty well. We have the J-pipe fitted. I can't really see it too well down there. Now I'm kind of tacking up some piping so that we can put the turbo in place. I kind of generally know where I need the turbo to go, so basically if I tack it up about there, I'll do a quick test for the turbo. I can tack it up, take it off and actually weld it up and then weld the T3 flange on. Then we can bolt the turbo on, start the car up quickly, make sure it's all good, chuck the intake piping on, hopefully sort that all out and then get on to the oil lines. So far so good. Alrighty, that's all tacked in place. Time to pull it out, weld it up, hopefully bolt it back in for the last time. I took a bit of a break just to go down to Super Cheap Auto and get some supplies we needed, including some cutting discs because I ran out. But I've cut the T3 flange off my old E36 turbo manifold. I also got a joiner that we needed to join the turbo to the intake manifold or the carburetor, or return fitting. Christmas tree bit because they're awesome. BKR 6E-11 or BKR 6E, I'll change the gap. Spark plugs, these are good for turbo applications. Some clamps for our oil send return and your radiator cap, and the gasket we need for the turbo manifold J-pipe. That's it. It will be the final resting place of the turbo. Alright guys, so the manifold is complete and what a work of art it is. Look at that. Bet you've never seen a turbo manifold like this before. Super stoked. Just going to chuck it in now, put the new gaskets in, bolt the turbo up and start the car. We'll run the oil lines tomorrow. We're going to go have a drink now. But yeah, it's been an easy day. I haven't really been rushing or anything, and Moses is here now to give me some moral support. Alright, let's keep going. So, we have mounted up the J-pipe. She's all bolted up, new gasket, everything's in. I was supposed to video it but I didn't because me and Moses were talking. Sorry. So now, you hold this, I'm going to chuck the turbo on. Correct. And she goes on there. Look at that, what do you reckon? That looks pretty bloody good to me. We'll chuck the top on and we'll start it up and make sure that it works, I guess. What do you reckon?
Sounds good.
Alright, sweet. Let's find the bolts. Can't remember where I put them.
TRD power.
That's the one. Nah, what's it? Something music festival?
Tamworth Country Music Festival. On the side. There it is there. Still fresh stickers, limited edition.
Are we ruining a really good car? Are we ruining a car that like someone would want to
Someone's
own?
pride and joy. You head north, this thing will be a pride and joy, but I'll tell you now, it's even better with a turbo.
Yeah.
Because everything's better turbo.
Yep. But after this, what do we have to do tomorrow? Run the oil send, oil return, and start the dump pipe.
What are you doing, Mike?
Test fitting the intake to see kind of where we need to go and what we need to chop.
Safety first in everything you do.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, sorry. Always wear safety glasses.
You just need to spit on a little bit, Mike.
I think so.
Yeah. think this turbo is the shiniest thing in this engine bay.
Huh?
So shiny in the engine bay, it makes...
I think we're going to start it for the first time. Are you keen?
I'm psyched.
Alright.
Free spinning.
Good. Ready?
Go nuts.
Alright, it's time to wrap up the video for the night there, guys. Super stoked on the progress we made today. This thing is super cool. So now tomorrow we need to run the oil lines. We also have to finish the dump pipe because my neighbours are going to hate me if I keep running it the way it is. But the whole thing just looks freaking awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching day 1 of the Hilux Drift build. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, as you know, at It's Mike Lake. Thank you guys for watching. Next episode will be out very soon in the next couple of days.